Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9 Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. Memory Rescue by psychiatrist Daniel G. Amen focuses on practical, lifestyle-based strategies to protect and improve memory in everyday life. Drawing on Amen's long-running work in brain health education and his broader emphasis on viewing mental performance through a brain-first lens, the book frames memory as a set of skills influenced by sleep, stress, nutrition, movement, medical issues, and daily habits. Rather than treating forgetfulness as an unavoidable part of aging, it presents memory change as something readers can often influence, especially when they identify root causes that quietly sabotage focus and recall. The book is positioned for people who worry about brain fog, distraction, or age-related decline, as well as those who simply want sharper learning and better retention. Its core promise is a structured path to improve how you remember, why you forget, and what to do next, using checklists, self-assessments, and action steps aimed at making brain care measurable and sustainable. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, reframing memory as a brain health problem. You can influence. A central theme is that memory is not a single switch that turns on or off, but an outcome of how well key brain systems function. The book encourages readers to stop thinking of memory lapses as purely psychological or as inevitable aging, and instead to treat them as signals to evaluate brain health. This includes understanding different kinds of memory challenges such as attention-based forgetting, where information never gets encoded well because the mind is scattered, versus retrieval problems, where information is stored but harder to access under stress or fatigue. By using a brain-centered framework, the author positions improvement as a process of removing obstacles and strengthening supportive habits. The approach also normalizes the idea that multiple factors can be involved at once, including mood, inflammation, metabolic issues, medication side effects, or chronic sleep loss. Readers are guided to become investigators of their own patterns, noticing when forgetting spikes, what conditions worsen it, and which interventions produce real change. The value of this reframing is motivation and clarity. If memory is connected to modifiable systems, then consistent, targeted actions can often produce noticeable gains in day-to-day recall and mental sharpness. Secondly, the memory killers, common causes of brain fog and forgetfulness. The book highlights a set of frequent, real-world contributors to memory decline that many people overlook. These include chronic stress and anxiety, which can impair attention and reduce the brain's ability to consolidate new memories. Poor sleep is treated as a major driver because it affects learning, emotional regulation, and the brain's cleanup processes. Nutrition and blood sugar swings are also framed as memory disruptors, with an emphasis on stabilizing energy and avoiding patterns that leave the brain underfueled or inflamed. The author also points to sedentary lifestyle, untreated medical conditions, and substance use as factors that can quietly erode cognitive performance over time. Another important category is mood and mental health. Depression and chronic low motivation can look like memory problems because attention and processing speed drop. The practical takeaway is not to self-diagnose, but to use a structured checklist mindset. If memory is slipping, look for high-impact culprits first, then address them systematically. This topic helps readers separate temporary, reversible impairment from longer-term decline by focusing on patterns and risk factors they can reduce. It also encourages collaboration with clinicians when red flags appear, making brain improvement both proactive and responsible. Thirdly, daily habits that strengthen recall, sleep, exercise, and stress control. A major portion of the book translates brain science into repeatable habits that can improve memory performance. Sleep is treated as non-negotiable because it supports attention, learning, and consolidation. Readers are encouraged to build routines that protect consistent bed and wake times, reduce late-night stimulation, and address sleep-disrupting behaviors. Exercise is positioned as a memory enhancer because it supports blood flow, mood, and overall brain resilience. Even modest, regular activity is presented as a meaningful lever, especially when paired with strength and aerobic components. Stress management is woven throughout, with the idea that a calmer nervous system improves encoding and recall. Practical techniques commonly associated with stress reduction, such as breathing practices, mindfulness, and structured relaxation, are framed as memory tools rather than vague wellness add-ons. The book also stresses the power of consistency. Memory improvement is portrayed as the cumulative result of small choices repeated daily, not a single hack. This topic is valuable for readers who feel overwhelmed by information because it organizes the highest yield actions into a simple lifestyle foundation. By focusing on sleep, movement, and stress, readers build a baseline that makes other strategies, such as dietary changes or cognitive training, more effective. Fourthly, food and supplements, building a brain. Supportive nutrition plan. The book emphasizes that what you eat influences how your brain functions, including attention, processing speed, and long-term memory protection. It encourages a nutrition approach that supports stable energy and reduces inflammatory load, often focusing on whole foods, adequate protein, healthy fats, and a steady intake of micronutrients that the brain relies on. Rather than treating diet as purely weight management, it is presented as cognitive infrastructure. Blood sugar spikes and crashes, nutrient gaps, and highly processed patterns can all show up as forgetfulness or mental fatigue. The supplement discussion is framed as an adjunct to fundamentals, not a replacement for sleep, exercise, and medical evaluation. Readers are urged to think in terms of targeted support and safety, including awareness of interactions, quality differences, and the importance of professional guidance when needed. This topic also supports personalization, since food sensitivities, metabolic health, and lifestyle constraints vary widely. The overall message is practical. A brain-supportive plan is not about perfection, but about creating repeatable defaults that keep your mind clearer across the day. For many readers, improved nutrition becomes one of the most noticeable contributors to better focus and fewer lapses in everyday recall. Lastly, a step-by-step rescue plan, testing, tracking, and training. What matters, beyond lifestyle principles, the book promotes a structured plan to assess risk factors, set priorities, and track progress. The idea is to move from vague worry about memory to a measurable improvement process. Readers are encouraged to establish a baseline of symptoms and habits, identify the biggest obstacles, and adopt targeted interventions in a deliberate order rather than changing everything at once. This topic includes the importance of paying attention to medical considerations, such as reviewing medications and discussing persistent issues with qualified professionals, especially when memory changes are sudden or severe. The book also supports intentional memory practices, using attention strategies to improve encoding, organizing information so it is easier to retrieve, and building routines that reduce daily cognitive load. Another key element is remembering what matters most, which reframes memory not as memorizing random facts, but as aligning cognitive energy with meaningful goals, relationships, and responsibilities. By combining tracking with skill building, the plan helps readers see cause and effect, stay motivated, and avoid frustration. The overall approach aims to be empowering and pragmatic. Rescue your memory by treating it as a system, improving the inputs, and practicing the skills that turn a healthier brain into better daily recall. In conclusion, memory rescue is best suited for adults who feel their memory is slipping, busy professionals who struggle with distraction and brain fog, caregivers worried about cognitive decline in loved ones, and health-minded readers who want a clear plan to protect long-term brain function. The benefit is practical leverage. The book connects memory performance to everyday drivers such as sleep quality, stress load, nutrition patterns, physical activity, and overlooked medical factors. That helps readers move from fear and self-blame to a workable set of actions they can apply immediately, then refine based on results. It can improve daily life by making you more reliable in conversations, sharper at work, and more present in relationships, while also encouraging long-term habits that support aging well. Compared with many memory books that focus mainly on mnemonics or puzzle-like brain training, this one puts lifestyle and root cause thinking at the center, offering a broader and more sustainable approach. It is worth buying if you want an integrated framework that combines habit change, risk reduction, and practical memory skills, especially if you prefer step-by-step guidance that treats memory as part of overall brain health rather than an isolated trick to master. If you would like to support Daniel G. Amen, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.